No time for a martini, remain standing. It's a Thrifty Quickie on Mid-Century Wasted. Today we are at my Savers. I started today on the bakeware aisle, also known as the Pyrex aisle, and they actually had some Pyrex today. This yellow primary 404 was $8.99, and it was a little too damaged for me, so I left it behind. Here was also this Anchor Hawking Fire King little olive green bowl. This isn't something I'm super familiar with, and it looked a little dishwasher damaged, so I left it. Now this was a big fun find. You can see I'm digging down deep for this Pyrex. This is not a normal standard pattern or design. This is a promotional piece. This is a casserole referred to as the Empire Scroll filigree pattern. I'm looking it over, and yes, it does have some baking schmutz on it, but I know that can come off with oven cleaner. And other than that, it looked like it was in really decent shape. And I don't have this one in my collection. So for $8.99, plus I have a 20% off coupon. Yeah, it's going in the basket. It's basket worthy. It was worth walking over and getting a basket. And you'll see I pretty much fill this thing, so it was worth it. On the way back to the Pyrex aisle, I quickly spotted this Rose Lane Pasadena bird figurine. It was $7.49, and unfortunately it was chipped, so I had to put that back. Now I'm in the bag section, and I saw these marbles. I did check them for any glowers, and unfortunately there weren't any, so at $3.99 I put that bag right on back. This Lenox Dolphin looked interesting enough for me to check to see if there's anything worthy in this bag. It was a newer Lenox mark on the bottom, and at $6.99 there was nothing else interesting in there, so I left that behind. I was trying to figure out this sort of cloisonne looking owl thing. At $4.49 I passed on that too. Here's a bag of literal rocks, but they were pretty. They were like polished rocks. I don't know if there's any value in those. You can let me know in the comments if I was stupid to leave that behind. Here's a cute Minnie Mouse mug. I know these can do really well. Obviously, being in Southern California, I see lots of Disney stuff. This was made in Korea, and it was $5.99, but I put it back because it was really dishwasher damaged, and I just thought this was interesting and pretty, so I gave that a glance. But no mugs for me today. $5.99's too much. Oh, and there's a Santa, just a random Santa mug. Obviously this was a new modern one, probably from like Target or Walmart or something, but no mugs. I had to check to see if this was Glassy Baby, but it wasn't. Just some random red glass. These Pink Depression wine glasses were pretty nice. I did like them, but I just don't want to be dealing with any more wine glasses right now, and I don't really know the value of those. Same thing with these glasses. I thought the shape was really interesting, but this sort of smoky color, I don't know how popular it is right now. Stop looking at the mugs, Jamie. I just really have a problem. I did like these two sort of pottery handmade looking mugs, but I restrained myself and I put them back. That one was signed, but still, I put it back. Too expensive. I have too many mugs. No. Stop looking at the mugs. So here I am back at the bags, and I noticed this little bundle of these very old salt and pepper shakers. The little single shakers, mismatched. Some said Japan on the bottom. I picked up some of these at an estate sale recently, and I know people do collect them, even mismatched and individually, and the fact that there was so many of them all grouped together in these little bags of random pairs, I was like, yeah, maybe I want to do this. One of these ones in this bag said Occupied Japan, made in Occupied Japan, and the other one had the older green Lenox mark. And this one, you can see one of them was pulverized. I did ask them at the front if I could have that one for half off, and they said yes. And yes, they were $6.99 per bag, but after my 20% discount, that comes to a little less than $3 per shaker, and I still thought that was a good deal. And I thought these little Santas were cute, but they looked a little too modern for me. I purchased a set of these colorful shot glasses recently, and they were a lot cheaper, so I don't know what the price is about. And if anybody knows the mark on the bottom of this shot glass, it was just red on the bottom. There's a whole set of them, but I could not make out that mark. Here is a creamer and sugar. It's stoneware, really heavy, $4.49 per piece. piece. It was not for the set. So I definitely left those behind. There were a lot listed on eBay and not a lot sold. If anybody has any idea what this is used for, please let me know in the comments. I thought it was interesting. I liked the pottery, but the cork and the hole at the top had me very perplexed. I also liked this teapot that was kind of hidden back here. The speckled stoneware is beautiful, but it was missing its rattan handle, and obviously you can see the lid was smashed. Now, I did love this bird plate. It said Italy on the back. It was hand painted. I was checking it all over for chips. It's in perfect condition. For $3.49, this beautiful bird plate came home with me. I thought this picture was really cute. I liked the stylized pig on it, and I did look it up. It's artist Molly Dallas, and unfortunately her things just don't sell for a lot on eBay. I also liked this little picture. It looked like it was probably Italian. I ended up leaving all of those behind. I left this British made little pot behind too. I did like the blue and the texture on it, but it seemed to be missing a lid. Here's some stoneware. I had to look this up as well because I know some of this can sell for good money, but unfortunately those plates were kind of not very sought after. And this rooster definitely caught my eye. It had such a stylized sort of mid-century shape, and it did have its sticker on the bottom. It was $5.49. The maker is Takahashi, which you'll see I'm struggling to read it on the bottom here. And I looked them up and I'm not entirely sure what it is, but they sell for about $35. So I got it. I also got this black little cake plate with the little hobnails on the side. I thought that was cool. This I ended up leaving behind. You can yell at me in the comments if I should have gotten it. I've just gotten so much amber glass lately that I was just kind of maxed out on my amber glass. So for $4.99, I left it. This tray was $4.49 and I was tempted, but it's just kind of big, kind of bulky, and I kind of just don't want to deal with something like that right now. These mugs were interesting, but the price obviously threw me off, and they were pretty dishwasher damaged. I did look them up and I believe they're Hazel Atlas, like orange peel or lime peel texture, lemon and lime texture. Yeah, I left them behind because of the price and the damage. This little mug tricked me. It was by Target. Threshold. And this statue I saw yesterday. Yes, I do go to Savers just about every single day, and I thought it might have something broken on it, so I left it yesterday and I left it again today. Here I found a giant spoon. Unfortunately, it didn't have its fork, so it couldn't be a giant fork and spoon. I liked the carving on it. It did seem like maybe it had a crack or a split on it, but I wasn't interested in it anyway because it didn't have its fork with it. This is a really nice looking set of anchor bookends, but it was modern, so I was a little bit tricked on that one. Here I found a valet. So this would be a dresser valet where a man would put his wallet and his cufflinks and his watch and men's jewelry. It had an old label on the bottom, so it did seem authentic and old, but it was a little beat up and I decided to just pass on it. This vase I thought was so pretty, but it tricked me. It was Home Goods, darn them, and their authentic looking pottery. This wooden piece next to it I thought was interesting, but I had absolutely no idea what it was. It was pretty heavy and it seemed to be hand carved, but not a clue. Now, I definitely have a thing for these carved wooden boxes. I have one myself, and I think they look beautiful in a display, especially using them as a riser. This one had a very interesting sort of blue velvety interior, which I kind of wasn't sure about because of the trim around it, but ultimately in the end, I decided to go ahead and get it. It was only $3.99. This bamboo box I thought was also pretty interesting. I was trying to figure out the latch, how that worked, and also I wasn't sure if it was new or old or what. It was $4.99 and I could see its decorative value, but I just wasn't sure if there was any real monetary value in it, so I decided to leave it behind. I was looking at this mostly because I wanted to figure out what it originally held. It was kind of in the office supply crafting area. It was $6.99 and I was just curious. This little copper pitcher was really pretty, and if it wasn't $7, I probably would have gotten it. I don't know how old it is or how modern it is, so I definitely left it behind for that price. This is a cowbell or something? You guys in the comments can let me know. Very rustic. It had a very loud sound to it. And for $5.99, I didn't want this. Now here's where I get overly excited and make something fall like normal. I always pick up my messes though. So this kind of got me really excited. It's a brutalist hanging something. Sculpture, light, fixture. I don't know exactly. I just know that I have seen one before. I don't know if it did have any kind of illumination that it was missing. And I did look around to see if there was a second one, which there wasn't, but for $6.99, it went straight into my basket. I thought this little music box was adorable, but I was kind of shocked and blown away. It was $8.49. It did play a song and it looked to work, but it was just way too expensive for me. I thought this wooden panda artwork was really interesting. It was $9.99. There's also a nice little elephant thing next to it. I've been looking at baskets lately. I thought this one was interesting. It was $6.49 though. I saw this vase and figured it was Lenox, and there was another one too, and I wanted to see if they had the older mark on it. They did not, and at $9.49 they were staying behind. I thought this little pewter vase was interesting. I just couldn't quite figure it out. I couldn't tell if it was old or new or what, so I left that behind as well. Here is a jellyfish in glass. I have one of these. I couldn't figure out what the bottom was on this one. And here is another one of those little English blue pottery pieces. This one was $5.49 and it did have its lid, but I still left it. Now, here is one of those Russian nesting doll sets, and I admit I did peel the sticker back to find out if it had all the pieces, and it did, and I bought it. I thought this little bear was very sweet. It was $4.49, and I'm not familiar with this brand. Modglins? I'm not sure. So that's something I wanted to look up. And even though he did seem very old, for $4.49, I still left him behind. This glass bird was pretty interesting. I'm not really sure what its purpose was, but it was very good quality, and I think the bottom was polished at one point. It was just really dirty, but I just didn't know enough about it to get it. This deer, unfortunately, was extremely damaged. I absolutely loved it, and I was just really trying to figure out a way in my heart to still get it, but for $8.49, it was so scuffed up. His face was just completely destroyed on the side. The ears were bad. Oh, it pains me, but I left it. And Judgmental Santa disapproves. This set of mugs and plates, it was a complete set of 16 pieces for $25. If somebody wanted that for themselves, it would be a really good deal. And then I did find some of these brown bag cookie molds, and I meant to look those up while I was in the store because sometimes those go for good money online, like certain ones. At $6 each, I figured I was priced out of those anyway. I did find this little ghosty guy. He was $5. He had a hole for a light in the back, but it looked like somebody had been burning candles in him. But you could have put a light kit in him and he would have been kind of cool. And here's somebody's old like German granny or something. I thought that was interesting. Now, tell me in the comments below if I'm missing something with this. This typewriter was $200. The teddy bears were having a nice lunch together at the dining table. And lastly, I found this micro mosaic Italian brooch in the jewelry section. I don't usually hardly even look in there, but I definitely took that home with me today. So here's the final look at my purchases of the day. I did end up spending over $80, which sounds like a lot at a thrift store to a lot of people, I understand. But when you count in the fact that I got a $20 brooch, and a Pyrex. I mean, all of the stuff I got was really good. So, but I did get a couple big ticket items for myself. So I think all in all, I still did really well, and I stand to make a good amount of profit on all of these pieces. Let me know below in the comment section what your favorite thing was that I picked up today, and I hope you like this new format. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.